We're live, action.
Right, Tobi, firstly, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about growing up in Hackney, what it was like growing up and playing football?
Yeah, so obviously I started playing football when I was about 4 or 5 years old, as far as I can remember. I started off by just going to the park with my dad, and he would literally just throw a ball at me, just kick it back into his hands, like put some coins up, just try to dribble like in and out through the coins. Then I joined a team called Watford FC when I was about 6 years old, and no stress on my mind, just enjoying football, and then just continued throughout primary school. And I was in year 3 and I was playing for the year 6s at the time, so that was great. And then start of year 7, I joined Watford FC. And for me, Watford FC is where it started for me, for real, because that's when I really started to kick on and I really started to realise that I have a chance in this football industry. So obviously my family, my mum and dad and my siblings, they were very, very supportive. Like, I owe them everything really. Like, my mother used to cancel her work shifts and my dad too, just to take me to football.
And then your step into the professional footballing world came through Sunday League. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about how?
Yeah, so obviously coming through Sunday League, I was doing well over there, and then I got noticed through Watford, so I went into Watford. But funny enough, I joined the development squad, so I was 13 at the time, and my mother, she read the emails wrong for the development, and I turned up on the day of under-16s, and I was actually 13 at the time, so I must have played in that game, and I must have scored about 2 goals, and Danny Dolan was like, wow, like, who's this kid here? And so just playing there, then after he invited me back for another game with the under-16s, and I did well there again. Then he's like, nah, I got to get this guy in with his actually own age group, which was under-14s at the time. So I just went into the under-14s, and Tom Hart was the coach at the time, and I had a good, successful trial, scored on my debut in the 14s, and I got signed within like 2 weeks. So that was an amazing feeling. I'm grateful for what Tom Hart did for me, honestly. My dad used to say to me, you're constantly always on trial, just every day, give it your best, and make sure you never take every day for granted. So ever since then, I've just been trying to play as if I'm on trial, so I'm always hungry, and I always want to strive for more.
Great. Well, this one that I'm going to show you here, obviously Chelsea Youth Cup. What was that moment like?
That moment there, it meant a lot because it was an important goal, crucial just before half-time, so it was good to get the goal. I just saw, because I usually press defenders when I play, I don't give them no time on the ball, so I just continued my press, and then the keeper made a mistake and I just pounced onto it and then just tapped it in the back of the net. And I mean, coming from there, I just believe that I just never dropped my head, always had my head up high, and just continue to strive for greatness and just give 100% every day. So I felt like I've come a long way from that.
Yeah, nice. And then we're going to move forward slightly to Reading, not so long ago. Yeah. Just talk us through this moment when you came up with Joe.
Yeah, so coming on, Slaven just told me, look, you're here for a reason. I just want you to go on the pitch and just don't feel any type of way. You're here. Just make sure you just go out and put yourself about, try to be busy and just enjoy it, really. So after he said that to me, all my nerves just kind of went, and I was just excited to be on the pitch. Like,
what was that moment like? Where does that rank, I suppose, at that time? Was that right at the top?
That was right at the top. Honestly, for me personally, I feel like coming up, growing up, like training from Sunday League, that was the ultimate goal to me on professional debut. And to do that, I mean, I'm just so grateful, honestly, so grateful.
Do you have your family in the crowd that day?
Yes, my family were in the crowd, my mum, my dad, and my sisters actually. It was a surreal moment. Like, I actually spotted them from the stands and then just gave me an extra massive boost to just go out there and make them proud.
So, in the lead up to Blackpool, of course, you've been in first team training. Firstly, what has that been like, and how great has it been, challenging yourself against some of the best players?
Yeah, so the first team training has been absolutely amazing. Like, the different intensity, just giving it 100%, like playing with the players of a top level. Like, they've really helped me, settle in, like Will, Hassane, Hamza, like they've all really helped me, so it's just been fantastic.
And when were you told that you were actually going to make the bench for that game as well?
I was actually told in the morning of the day, so yeah.
And what was that like when you got the news for that?
When I heard I was on the bench, I was just like, wow, like anything can happen in a game of football. Like, I just got to be ready and prepare ready because I could be coming on here.
Yeah, and then obviously eventually you do come on. What is that moment like? You coming on there, looking back at that, what does that make you?
I mean, coming on, for me, it was very, very special because in front of all the amazing fans, like, to come on and make my home debut is just this terrific feeling that is indescribable, really, because it actually means a lot in front of the fans who just, and there was even Graham Taylor there as well, which makes the moment even more special. Like, it was so fantastic, honestly.
So this moment happens.
Yeah.
We stop at Mateus, he's going to take a shot.
Yeah.
You're just to the right there. What are you thinking before he shoots?
As a natural striker, you're always up for the rebound, so I believe if he didn't score, the ball would just drop in an area where I got to be in a position where I can get my foot on it, throw my body at it, anything. So at this moment, I'm following it in, and then it happens.
So that moment, just sort of let us know, what did that feel like? What was that moment like?
Couldn't believe it. Oh my gosh. Wow. It's crazy.
What is that like as well? And going over to celebrate with Jack Greaves, of course.
It's an indescribable feeling once again. Like, Jack Greaves, I mean, that guy is an absolute legend for me. Like, sharing that moment with him is something I'll remember for the rest of my life, honestly.
And this moment here, when eventually it hits the back of the net and the roar of the rookery.
That was loud. That roar was loud. Oh my gosh, I've never heard anything so loud like that in my life before, honestly. Like, I tried to celebrate and keep it cool, then the roar hit me and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I just done? It was crazy. But in that moment, the ball just dropped in the area and I felt like I'm gonna get my foot on this, and I just made sweet contact with the ball and it hit the back of the net, and yeah, it was just amazing, really.
But you also put your hands on your head.
Yeah, I was in so much shock, like I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't even know where to look because the stadium was actually packed, so it was just crazy to see all the fans, and obviously my family was there. It was just mental, really. It's just absolutely mental.
When eventually you do get into the dressing room after making that incredible moment, history, I mean, what was it like in the dressing room? What were the players like? What was that moment?
Like, all the players were just like, just hugging me, just throwing water on me. It was an amazing moment, honestly. Like, they even told me to do a speech, and in the speech I said, look, boys, fantastic win, 3 points onto the next. And they just started laughing, like they'll say, like, well done, and just congratulating me, really.
Did you ever get a chance to speak to your family as well before the game and after the game?
Yeah, I told them, look, obviously I'm on the bench. There's a possibility I could go on.
What did they say afterwards as well?
To be fair, my mother was crying, tears of joy. My little sisters were crying. My dad was so proud of me. Like, honestly, like that moment there, for me, it hit home, that moment, and I'm just so grateful.
And you mentioned the Graham Taylor match day as well.
Yeah.
Scoring in the 72nd minute.
It's crazy. Scoring in the 72nd minute. The roar from the fans was even louder because of it. Like, it was just crazy. And then looking back at it now, Watford's greatest ever manager, I think he'll be proud of me too, and I feel like I did him proud.
And do you remember much of this interview as well?
Honestly, I just want to say dreams do come true. Like, I've dreamt about this moment, scoring on my home debut. I mean, the fans are incredible. It's just an amazing feeling, honestly.
Do you remember much of that?
Yeah, such an amazing feeling, man. Like, I tried to keep cool, but I was shaking at the time because I still couldn't believe it. I was still in shock, but now that I've calmed down a bit now. But then it was just amazing. Like, it was a surreal moment, and it still is, to be fair. But it's just crazy, and I'm just so grateful for everyone giving the opportunity.
And the future for you now?
Yeah, so now I just want to kick on, and I believe anything's possible. I'm ready to make my family proud, ready to make this club proud. I'm just ready to just kick on and just keep going. I'm going to use this as a building block, day by day, give it 100% in training, and just continue from this, and I just really want to push on.
Brilliant. Cheers, Toby.
Thank you very much. Thank you.